Hi, I'm Matt Singer for IFC News. Let's face it, the holidays can get pretty rough. Every radio station's playing Bing Crosby, every party's serving stale eggnog. Practically the only thing that's better at this time of year are the movies. You know, winter's depressingly quiet, summer's depressingly loud. It's really only during the fall that you get that unique combination of what I call Yogi Bear blockbusters because they're smarter than the average temple, and award caliber indies that are gonna be fighting for the Oscars. They're all coming your way in the weeks ahead, but because you've been such good little cinephiles this year, we're letting you open your presents early. We put together a list, naturally, we checked it twice, highlighting some of the incredible movies coming your way this fall. It's all here in IFC's holiday movie preview, Tease the Season. The holidays came early for me this year too because I'm here at my favorite place to see a movie in the entire world, the Alamo Drafthouse in Austin, Texas. I'm here in Austin for the Alamo's one-of-a-kind film festival, Fantastic Fest, where some of the season's most eagerly awaited genre releases came to spread good cheer. Tell me about the vibe in Austin and why this is a good place to have the film play.
It's just a great movie town. There's so many movie lovers here and so many young people because of the university.
I feel like Austin is the city of eclectic taste.
We know some of the people that operate the festival here, and I love the city, and you know, we just thought this would be a good place to go first.
An event like Fantastic Fest, the first three letters tell you everything you need to know. Fant.
I'm loving it so far. I'm a little afraid our hotel is haunted.
I do love Austin. I'm from Texas, so it's nice to be back here.
Let's kick things off with the opening night film from Fantastic Fest, Gentlemen Broncos from Napoleon Dynamite director Jared Hess. Hess and a cast cooler than Frosty the Snowman walked the red carpet on opening night.
Dusty, I want you to meet Benjamin. Well, I noticed you didn't have any friends, so I signed you up for the Guardian Angel program at church.
Do you want to tell people just what the film is about?
The film is about a teenager who writes messed up science fiction stories and has one of them ripped off by
his hero, basically.
You're really gonna enjoy the best writers' camp in the state.
I'd like to introduce you to one of the greatest science fiction authors of our time, Ronald Chevalier.
I play the character of Dr. Ronald Chevalier, the science fiction author.
I'm assuming you love to write fantasy fiction, except the character names in your stories are suffering. Need thou not be afraid? We can add Onius, Ainus, or anus to just about anything, and it becomes magical.
Okay, while I'm interviewing people, I'm looking over at the poster at your pictures. You have an interesting look in this film.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah. Did you have any influence on the look of the character?
You know, I actually didn't. Jared kind of created the whole thing. I just do what I'm told.
This is ridiculous.
Cooking! How about you come down here and fight me like a man?
Seize him! There's this one thing I can't stand. It's plagiarism. I'm completely distressed. I can't even concentrate on my audiobook narration.
The most hotly anticipated event of both the holiday season and Fantastic Fest is director James Cameron's long-awaited follow-up to Titanic, Avatar, a 3D sci-fi extravaganza. We spoke with Avatar producer John Landau about the 20 minutes of exclusive footage he previewed here for the Fantastic Fest faithful. Can you tell people, first of all, what you brought to Fantastic Fest tonight?
What I brought was a group of 28 minutes from the film that really all played in the first act with two exceptions in the middle of the second act. And it was hopefully to illustrate that we have human characters whose journey we follow into this amazing world that Jim created. What the film is really about, it's the journey of an unsuspecting hero who's given a second chance on life when he goes to this planet Pandora and he has an opportunity to inhabit an avatar body.
Just saw the brand new presentation of Avatar 3D. Absolutely stunning. The footage is amazing. Special effects are a whole nother level. I got sucked in. It was incredible.
My brain kind of melted out of my ears. It's there's been a lot.
Yeah, you got a little. There's still a little, right? Okay, you got it.
Everything I've seen from it so far, I've seen footage previously, has just blown me away, and the more I see from it, the more into it I get.
What they showed us was it was incredible, and I had no idea I was going to have that kind of response.
Later in the show, we'll have more of my interview with John Landau and more exclusive footage from Fantastic Fest's Avatar preview event.
You know about them? They won't stop until you're dead. Go now.
Ninja Assassin is the story of a young man who turns his back on the orphanage that raised him, leading to a confrontation with, oh, who are we kidding? All You Need to Know, produced by the Wachowski brothers and badass ninja assassinating. Roll the clip. Some of your favorite indie directors are coming to the 2009 holiday party, like Thank You for Smoking and Juno director Jason Reitman, whose new film Up in the Air stars George Clooney and Vera Farmiga.
You're grounded. Everybody's grounded.
They're pulling us off the road. We're going home.
Tell me about working with, I think you called him the wonderful, talented George Clooney.
Yeah. Well, he is all of those things. He's everything that you would want George Clooney to be. He's the consummate gentleman and professional, and he's the Clooney.
Make no mistake, moving is living.
George Clooney also provides a voice in director Wes Anderson's first ever animated film, Fantastic Mr. Fox, done in the same stop-motion style as holiday classics like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Other stars lending their voices to the film include Bill Murray, Cate Blanchett, and Jason Schwartzman.
We're different. We all are. Him especially. But there's something kind of fantastic about that, isn't there?
I can fight my own fight. I play the son of George Clooney and Meryl Streep. My character's name is Ash, and I'm an adolescent fox who wants to be more athletic and be like his dad and be accepted by his dad, and is kind of insecure for being littler than everyone else. I'm like a really little fox.
That was close.
I think that the theme of Fantastic Mr. Fox is about being okay with who you are and accepting the fact that the things that you're born with naturally that make you special and different, those are the things that make you amazing.
You really are fantastic.
I try.
We've all gotten crappy holiday presents before. But that's nothing compared to the gift given to Cameron Diaz and James Marsden in Donnie Darko director Richard Kelly's new film, The Box.
If you push the button, two things will happen. First, someone somewhere in the world whom you don't know will die. Second, you will receive a payment of $1 million.
Richard has his own way of doing it. He is truly a unique filmmaker, and the way, because he wrote the script and because of the way his brain works, it's really sort of non-linear.
Quite a few employees.
How do you think this one compares with your previous films?
I think it's different. That all three films are different, but it's from the same wheelhouse, and it's the most mainstream and the most commercial of the three, and it's my first kind of big studio film.
We have to save your son or your wife is gonna die. How's she gonna die? You're going to kill me.
When you sign on to do a Richard Kelly film, you sign on to do a Richard Kelly film, and you know, there's a great safety net there, and if you're working with great directors like Richard, you're less apprehensive about giving everything to him. So, and that's a great place for an actor to be.
And indie directors also at the helm of one of the season's biggest movies, Sherlock Holmes, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. It's directed by Guy Ritchie. Let's take a look.
I have a request. Someone I want to see. Sherlock Holmes. Mr. Holmes, you must widen your gaze. You underestimate the gravity of coming events.
We knew it had to be done in period. We knew that we had to really roll up our sleeves and do it justice, because what would be lamer than doing a version of Sherlock Holmes, given that opportunity to either sail or dump the franchise for any future takers by making a version of it that isn't quite smart enough. So we really wanted to make it, without being too clever for its own good, we wanted to really root it in what we love about these characters, and we wanted it to also be as exciting as what's required nowadays for a big movie.
I can thoroughly rely.
It was nice to see you, Watson.
You've never complained about my methods before?
I never complain. When do I complain about you practicing the violin at 3 in the morning? Or your mess? Your general lack of hygiene, or the fact that you steal my clothes?
Everything in the story, all the character stuff, comes from stuff in the books originally. We really tried to be faithful to that, and anything that Holmes does in the movie in terms of action and all that kind of stuff is stuff he's done in the book and that's referred to in the books.
We really went pretty much right back to the source. So that was how we reinvigorated it, was by deciding to change less than had been changed previously.
Watson, what have you done?
Still to come, more exclusive coverage from Avatar's sneak preview at Fantastic Fest. One of the things that makes the Alamo a unique place to see a movie is the wait service and full menu available right at your seat. And I mean a full menu. Everything from burgers to tacos to pizzas, like this Raging Bull pizza, named after a classic movie starring Robert De Niro, also the star of our next preview, Everybody's Fine.
I don't know what it is with you kids. You always told your mother everything. You never told me anything.
We tell you the good news and spare you the bad.
Tell me the bad news as well as the good news from now on.
Mom used to say, make your dad proud, and I know you're not proud of me.
It's not true.
Sometimes I pick up the phone to dial her number, and then I remember.
Keep calling next time. The number's still the same, and I'm still on the other end.
Okay.
Think the holidays are rough with your family? Imagine celebrating at Precious's house, where dad's a child molester and mom's so abusive, she makes Joan Crawford look like June Cleaver. Here's a look at the latest from Lee Daniels, Precious.
Precious, you gonna stand up there and look down at me like you're a woman? You don't know what real women do. Real women sacrifice.
We worked to kind of get it together. It wasn't just there. At the end of the day, like, we were there to support each other.
Can we talk about the abuse in your household? You know what I'm talking about.
You sit there and judge me, and you write them notes on your pad about who you think I am.
She became this person. She walked different. She held herself different. She changed the way she talked, her rhythm of speech. There's people that act for years that never turn in a performance like this.
Love ain't done nothing for me. Love beat me, make me feel worthless.
Your baby loves you. I love you.
The long-awaited adaptation of Cormac McCarthy's The Road reminds us that even if someone won't kiss you under the mistletoe, things could be worse. At least the world hasn't been destroyed by environmental cataclysm and taken over by cannibalistic zombies. So you have that going for you. Here's a look at The Road.
That boy looks hungry. Why don't y'all come on the truck?
You look at him again, I'll shoot you in the head.
I don't think you killed a man in your life.
I felt as much pressure myself. I thought, well, this is going to be probably the most emotionally trying story I've ever been part of, and it's a different challenge than others I've had. But I was concerned about, because if the relationship doesn't work, you have no movie. You know, if you don't believe what they're going through emotionally, there's no payoff. There's no real love and compassion, and there isn't an uplifting at the end. And but we were lucky. We connected, and we got through some tough things early in the shoot, and that made us even closer.
We're gonna die.
We're not gonna quit. We are gonna survive this.
This is the Alamo's drool-worthy t-shirt shop, Mondo Tease, which is packed from floor to ceiling with badass cinema shirts. Now, if this one looks familiar, you might have seen Seth Rogen wearing it in this summer's Funny People. Martin Scorsese's next film, Shutter Island, doesn't come out till next February, but here's a look at the trailer.
So this prisoner escapes in the last 24 hours. We don't know how she got out of her room. It's as if she evaporated straight through the walls. We haven't heard the truth once yet. But no one will talk. It's like they're scared of something.
It's all down, all the lines, even radio.
Whatever the hell's going on here, it's bad. We need to ask you some questions, okay?
Do you know what fear does to the mind? Corrodes it, rusts it. This is a game. You're a rat in a maze. Who did this to you?
Going somewhere? I've built something valuable here. I'm not going to give up without a fight.
What if while you were looking into them, they were looking into you? Now they have us both. Here, now.
Let me see your face.
Let me see your damn face now! Don't move, don't move!
As promised, here's more of my interview with Avatar producer John Landau. You said in the Q&A that the story was written a long time ago, before Titanic, I think you even said, and it took this long for technology to catch up with Jim's imagination. What sort of technology and things had to be created to bring Avatar to life?
Well, what we needed to wait for was technology that enabled us to use CGI to create emotive and engaging characters. Because movies aren't about scale and scope, they're about the close-up. So we waited to a point where we thought that, okay, technology might not be there, but if we're the impetus that pushes it, we can get it to where we need to be so that audiences accept Neytiri as a character, accept Jake's avatar as a character, and thanks to the work of the many talented people in the movie, I think we've been able to accomplish that.
3D is another big part of the movie, obviously. Everything you showed here was in 3D. Why make the movie in 3D?
Well, I think it's sort of like asking why make a movie in color, because you can now. In the past, you couldn't. You couldn't do it in a way where the filmmaking had the same sensibility of 2D filmmaking, and you couldn't present it in high quality 3D. You were resorting to anaglyphic, where it always looked like, what's that French word, caca? And we didn't want it to do that, but now that technology is there, it's like, why not do it?
The thing that's really amazing about this film is you forget you're watching 3D. Every other film is gimmicky, they're throwing stuff at you, you ooh and you ah. This isn't an ooh and ah and look at the 3D coming at you. You get lost in this alien world that's gorgeous and you start oohing and ahhing at, look at that waterfall in the background. Look at the way the camera focuses, and all of a sudden I'm looking at this world I've never been to before.
By far the most impressive 3D footage I've ever seen. James Cameron has created a completely new world of creatures and plants and an entire planet that we've never seen before. It just, like, getting to step into that world and step onto that planet in such a lifelike way with the 3D is just second to none.
Why does Jim Cameron make movies? He makes movies for the fans. He makes movies for people who go to see. He doesn't make movies for himself. He wants to fill an audience and entertain people. And Fantastic Fest here represents that. It's a coming together of movie fans from around the world, seeing a variety of different movies, and it was a great opportunity to share a slice of Avatar with them.
Well, that brings us to the end of our show, which is a good thing because I am officially out of cheesy Christmas puns. I'm Metzinger. For more on fall movies and Fantastic Fest, you can go to ifc.com. And from all of us here at IFC, have a happy Christmas Kwanzaa, a great New Year, and I'll see you next time.